Hello, welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Today we're getting ready to go from here in Derby up to Sheffield with train 1 Foxtrot 01. I apologise for that sound in the cab. Change to the front end, key on, reverse it to neutral, reset the AWS, things starting up, we'll release the doors, let everyone on board, and we are going to Sheffield. So this is basically this is going to be our first look of the new Armstrong Powerhouse Class Treble 2 enhancement pack. And we'll do a cheeky little whoop. Womp womp. And like I say, you can see, sorry, we're here, we're getting ready, we're going to be departing in a mo. Yeah. So this is a first look at the enhancement pack. Obviously I've driven it to get my notes for this, but this is a run we did way back when this first released with the original non-enhanced Meridian. Now this obviously came out from AP as part of the preparation for their new extension on the middle main line up to Corby. And yeah, I'm excited for that too. For AP do some good routes, and obviously anything north of Bedford will be obviously newly laid, so it'll be fun to see what that looks like. But we've got, like I say, that the Meridian enhanced now, so we've got all of the middle and mainline stuff really's got some sort of enhancement pack for it. 153, I guess, being the exception, but everything else has got something that you can do to sort of zhuzh it up a bit. Like I say, this is the Meridian. I've travelled on one once. I've travelled the middle. Actually, I've travelled on one a few times now. So I did. No, I've done it twice to be fair. I did St Pancras up to Sheffield and then back again. 2019 Christmas 2019 into 2020, and it was as part of when I was living down in the southeast, working for a certain game developer that shall not be named. Otherwise, so yeah, the doors are gone. So I'm going to show a quick little feature here. If I release the DRA and then pull the brake to a not release position, but I'm just going to wait. So you see it's now flashing because it's saying you've waited too long to depart. Recheck the signal. There we go. Oh, and Control G, obviously to restore GSMR. Forgot to do that. Is that 3D, that GSMR? Feels odd. No, it is. So our start speed is 15. Increasing to 25 as we pass. So I've only replaced this treble 2, so the one we pass here you can see is not enhanced. And there are some visual differences. Cool, 40, let's go. In fact, 60. So this train does get up and go. Annoyingly, we've got the sounds from the other Meridian. I will just show. So you can see there are. So this is obviously the unenhanced one. You can see there are some variations. So some main ones. Obviously, I think the windscreen texture looks different. Texturing overall is improved. Modelling probably unchanged, just the angles. Different fonts, different more sort of deeper, stronger colours. This one feels more faded. Always really did feel faded to me. And of course the destination screens have got the nicer font, and they're actually queuable. In theory these can be queued, but it's a colossal pain in the backside to do, and I never really did it for my scenarios. So the Treble 2s, obviously I'm a bit more experienced on Voyagers. So again, those I've travelled more and I've seen them more around me. Just so, because obviously my place of work is Newcastle Central Station. Quite routinely, obviously they go through there. And so I'm going to get my AP website up and we're going to have a look at the manual. We love a little manual. 110. Sorry, I'm just not paying attention, trying to get a manual up in front of me. So like I say, this thing gets up and goes. We'll listen to the sounds it makes. So this does bring some variants to the AP Treble 2, or to the Treble 2, sorry, to the JT Treble 2 I should say. So our liveries, you've got Middle and Mainline, and that's with the Middle and Mainline logo, unbranded, and with the East Midlands Trains logo. You've got East Midlands Trains, which is with small front numbers, with large front numbers, with the East Midlands Railway logo, and also Treble 2016 with its yellow cab. So Treble 2016 hit a self-discharging ballast train at not Melton Mowbray. What's it called? Mount Sorrel. So basically, the self-discharging train was there. 016 was coming down, and basically was a conveyor foul of the running lines, and 016 hit it. So that's basically, whilst they were repairing it, it was the full front was painted yellow. Once they repaired it, the full front was painted yellow for a while. Yeah, they got East Midlands Railway logo and East Midlands Railway unbranded, and you also got the two variants of East Midlands Railway. You've got the full purple, which is like the Aurora livery, and the purple and white, which is the standard livery. Lastly, of course, Hull Trains livery is available as well. Now, non-standard, well, so what I'm, click factor's a thing on this, that's fun. Let's turn it up. Really claggy meridian today. We'll notice that more as we pull away from Belper, which is our next station stop. So we've got clag factor, you've got car wash, speed control, dead man's pedal. That's the DVD sound. Destination screen, F7 and F8, door close, R, door release U and O, so that's the pretty standard keybinds. DRA, DVD, engine start stop, GSMR register, so it's on this train. Hang on. On this train, the GSMR functions the way it does on the 92 and the 66, where you press Control and R to register. I do kind of wish it was the fully functional thing, but yeah, it is what it is, really. Numpad Plus engages Hill Start. We'll use that today. Headlight switch clockwise is H, anti-clockwise is Shift H. Instrument lights brightness is the I key. Control N will register the NRN. Control R gives you the difference between got operated and driver operated. We'll do driver because I think they do 8-bell dispatch on these. SDO. Ooh, SDO. So we'll do. I'll look at that SDO feature a bit more so we don't go down. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm braking vaguely where I want to be, and I am. I may little bit hot here. Let's take this chance to quickly. No. There we go. Now we'll do one last attempt to get sacks of door to work. Ooh, that's fun. There we go. Release the doors on this side. So should only release the front four coaches. So you can see the rear coach is locked out. Cheers, we are platformed, but my first attempt, I didn't platform that coach particularly well. But you can see the doors on this coach haven't opened. Perfect. You can see we are platformed like that, but like I say, there is, I know, a few stations for us where the rear coaches don't always open. So, or don't open, even though they are usually platformed, because within like the margin of error. So I'm just double checking myself. So, traction physics, great care has been taken to try and accurately simulate the behaviour with the Cummins QSK19 engine, how it revs up and down, and the way traction power is applied. Fairly unusual for a DMU, the engine acts as an electricity generator to power the traction motors, and as a result, the engine revs up, depending on the load being demanded on the motors. When departing from a standing start, for example, even if you set 100% power, the engine at 0 miles an hour will not rev up, as it's already revving high enough to provide the motors with enough power. This is why the engine revs up a little when the drive selects forward or reverse to ensure the engine is ready to provide the necessary power. Listen out for it. There you go. You heard that there? You can see it down there off counter. So, as speed increases, the engine then gradually revs up to match the increasing load being demanded by the motors. At around 13, the engine will rev at its maximum RPM, assuming 100% power is selected, with the turbocharger then spooling up as more load is placed on the engine until 20 miles an hour. At 20 miles an hour, peak load is reached, and the turbocharger has reached its highest speed. We'll listen out for it. In contrast to the slow rev from standard, running at 20 miles an hour above, second of power from idle, will have the engine rev quickly in around 4 seconds. The difference in engine behaviour depending on speed also changes how power is applied. From standing start, power can be applied to traction motors almost instantly, giving the straight the feel of an EMU. However, once at 20, it will take around 4 seconds from moving the power brake controller to 100% and full acceleration being achieved. Brakes. Friction brakes. So keep checking out paranoia. Conventional friction braking is blended in below 12.5 miles an hour or under the following conditions: during wheel slide, emergency brake application, and once the DRA is on. There we go, reverse to forward. Doors are locked. So we'll listen out for this. So full power's been taken. Full engine RPM. Full turbocharger, and you can hear the turbocharger there now. That really beefy turbocharger that the 220s have as well. So I have this video there just to see what we're doing. So our next station is Chesterfield, that's 17 miles. Now, the dynamic brake, when the friction brake is not being used as described above, dynamic braking uses the traction motors to slow the train. Pressing the hill start button whilst moving the power brake control from a brake notch to a power notch maintains a brake application of around 1 bar and ensures the train does not roll back if the time it takes for power to be applied. We'll prove that again, like I say, leaving Dronfield. An emergency brake application is roughly 30% stronger than the H position and occurs under the following circumstances: moving the power brake control to the E position, pressing of the emergency brake plunger, failure to acknowledge an AWS or DVD device, an AWS warning or a DVD, moving the reverser to off, moving the reverser to neutral above 4 miles an hour. And it's 80 here, of course, leaving Dronfield. So, correction, Belper. I knew what I meant. I have genuinely been struggling by... I feel like I substitute the wrong word sometimes. My cognitive ability is bad right now. 80. Go power off. Adhesion between the train's wheels and the rails plays a big part in allowing the train to accelerate or brake. Too little of it and the train will slip or slide. There are a myriad of factors that control the level of adhesion. We've attempted to simulate the most important of these given varied driving experience. Season. Adhesion is generally good during dry conditions, during summer and spring, slightly decreased during the winter to take into account for moisture and possible ice on the rails, much decreased during autumn due to leaf mulch. There's the line towards Matlock Bath. That is also the peak forest route in Trenton World. 80 again. Weather. Adhesion decreases in wet weather, especially so when rain first starts falling before there's a chance to clean the railhead. If rain is light, it will take longer for the railhead to be cleaned, whereas heavy rain will clean it quicker, resulting in adhesion recovering sooner. When using drizzle pattern in our Scan Weather EP, adhesion is particularly poor, as the rain hasn't had enough force to clean the railhead, but still makes it sufficiently wet to worsen adhesion. Thank you for that nugget of knowledge there at Armstrong Powerhouse. I will definitely use that to abuse people in my scenarios. Time of day. Adhesion will decrease somewhat after dusk as the air cools and dew is more likely to form on the railhead. This persists throughout the night until around an hour after sunrise, when higher temperatures and the sun dry it out. In our summation, this factor reduces during summer to account for warmer temperatures, which on average result in less dew. Going for the ton. There we go. I'm a bit early to accelerate, but shush. Tunnels, when adhesion is poor due to external factors such as weather or season, adhesion generally improves upon entering a tunnel, which is not susceptible to these factors. When adhesion is good during dry weather and outside of autumn, adhesion may decrease a little due to the tunnel's damp nature. Oh, 110 actually. Didn't notice the clag factor actually, that's a good point. Wheel slip, so standard wheel slide. So they've got the improved gradients that they do on the HST here, which basically means, to really simplify down like 2 paragraphs into a sentence, in TS, or just 2 sentences, in TS the game doesn't simulate gradients below 1 and 125, whereas AP basically written a script that allows them to do that using the train brakes. So it just sort of slows everything down a bit. Dynamic exhaust effects, that we've proved that. Automatic unit numbers was pretty cool. SDL, we've played with that as well. What we'll do is we'll say the guard's going to work the doors at the next station, being Chesterfield. I've come to a clearer understanding with the guard as to what our expectations of each other are for today. I have to change the operation, so that's Control R, that's pretty standard. The Class Travel 2 is fitted with a unique, to our knowledge, active DRA rather than the normal passive version. It can be used more like a complex passive DRA if you wish. As soon as you set it, illuminate extraction power is inhibited. recommended when approaching a red signal. In addition, this basic functionality, the active part of the DRA, is it will flash under the following two circumstances, so as to provide additional prompts for the driver to check the signal. Doors have been released and the AWS Sunflower is visible due to having previously passed AWS magnet protection caution signals. Power has not been applied after 5 seconds after resetting the DRA. So that's what we saw at the start that I showed you, the flashing of the DRA. I have seen a 156 flash its DRA, and my understanding of what was happening, because I was standing outside the train and didn't exactly have a chance to say to ask the driver why I did that, was that basically the driver took power against the DRA. So the DRA was set, they took power, and the DRA flashes to go, hey, I'm on, if you want to take power, turn me off. And check your signal. Or check your signal and turn me off. The vigilance device... When the rotor is in forward or reverse, the DVD will sound every 60 seconds. If the PVC is moved, the 60-second timer resets. To reset the vigilance device alarm, you must lift the dead man's pedal by pressing the E key. Engine isolation. It's not uncommon for these units to run with one or more engines isolated due to faults. To achieve this in the simulator, in the scenario editor, add semicolon engine equals 0 to the number of the vehicle you wish to isolate. The physics of the train will respond accordingly and will be proportionally slower in acceleration. Today we've got everything cut in and running as expected. Eco mode. In the early 2010s, these units were fitted with Eco mode, which seeks to reduce fuel consumption. That means that after sitting in the station for over 7 minutes, with no master key pressed in a cab, all engines will shut down except for the driving motor first. Vehicle. If the DMF is isolated, then the DMS engine will remain active instead. The 7-minute timer has been simulated, as we think players will rarely, if ever, sit in a seat for 7 minutes keyed out of a cab. What has been simulated, however, is taking over a train, which is in Eco mode. It's activated by adding a semicolon Eco equals 0 to the DMS. So basically, when you get in the train, like in St Pancras or whatever, it will you have to start the engine, which is quite fun. Or you could obviously do it here, or when we get up to Sheffield as well. Remote taillights. Oh, the taillights in the rear can be used by pressing that button. We'll simulate that. I will check that when we thingy here. There is a ton of padding in this, which leads me to believe that you can probably do this in a 158 and still keep time. When entering the passenger view, there's a 1 in 10 chance that within 20 seconds you'll hear the classic middle announcement chime. In addition, the chime is audible in the cab anytime between 30 and 150 seconds of departing a station. How long it will take to sound is randomly selected at each departure. This will usually muffle as per reality and may not be audible if you've picked up too much speed by the time it sounds. No, that's fair. Like I say, I went out and shadowed a guard on an 800. And I couldn't hear any of the auto announcers in the cab. To blow an AI train's horn scenario, that's a feature, and then it's the different, yeah. And that's just the radios and NRNs. So, instead of using number codes now, they've started using the basic station codes to simulate the different things the trains might say. So for example, to put Sheffield in, I would normally put like code 13 say, however now it's code SHF. Cold start is a feature, bits and bobs. We'll look at that in a sec. I'll look at that once we depart Chesterfield. So yeah, like I say, I updated this scenario just to use like the AP versions of pretty much everything. So like including that container train there, hence you get the nice containers on it. The only thing that I couldn't be bothered to do was the treble twos, because I'd have to basically go in and respawn them to make the scripting work, and I didn't really want to do that, couldn't be bothered sufficiently. I use loco swap quite a bit. It's genuinely absolutely great for being a YouTuber like me. I am in the process of updating all of my scenarios that use the treble two. That's going to take some time. Yeah, quite a bit of time, but no, it'll be good. It is sort of quite a process, because in some areas I've used HSTs more than I should have, to allow for the fact that they are just better in general at the moment, or were at least until this release, than the treble twos. Gonna go slightly along, which is fine. Check thing. And then we'll go release the doors. And there we go, Chesterfield. I was actually here not that long ago. Drove down this here road. And this does look really strange in real life. It looks like, it sort of looks like, so, you know when you get like a clay mod, like something made out of clay, and you haven't fired it yet. Someone's like walked up to it, it's been made out of clay, and just sort of pushed it. Did the sculptor have a cat in their studio? If so, that's how this happened. Okay, we'll do bits and bobs whilst we're stationary. So, nameplates submitted from the original pack are included. Nameplates appear automatically. They do, I can confirm that. I saw one. So, bit of behind the scenes for you guys. This was supposed to be done on a Hull Trains service, and that does have a nameplate on it. I can't remember what it was. High quality headlights and mark light textures. Yeah, agree with that. Hazard light options. Hazard. Hazard. Improved BILs. Yeah, no, they are actually quite. They are. I hadn't noticed it, but you know when you go, that looks different, but you also just don't actually notice it enough. Oh, we're going. Let's go. Start speed is 80. Improved cab. High resolution cab visuals. Improved cab gauges and more realistic front used. Improved lit versions of gauges. Yeah. Correct cab number and vehicle number now shown above windscreen. And that's improved textures as well. I quite like that. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Correct cab number. Door power indicator illuminates below 3 mph. Door releases and close buttons are now clickable. That's fun. Speedo moves 1 mile an hour at a time now rather than completely smoothly. I mean, accelerating that fast will not be noticeable, but we'll try and fiddle with that a bit. In cab 4, 5 and 7 car marker pen scrolls now only appear on Eastman's trains or later liveries. A camera view facing the exhaust is provided. I will do that leaving Dronfield as well. A camera view, the reverse must be placed in neutral to start the engine, 1 second delay for AWS. That's just standard AP features now. The headlights will improve illumination after sunrise and sunset. The visible driver moves to what cab you were in. And they're using the AP, well, the standard train sim. They've changed the driver model. Visual alarms outside the cab when AWS and DVD are active. Wipers on AIs when it's raining. AI trains accelerate at a more realistic rate. Yeah, to 90 now. Setting up the driver's cab, we've covered off on that. Driving guide, covered off on that. How to place in the editor, we've covered off on that. Comes with 3 scenarios as standard, all for the AP Midland Main Line. This is one of my favourite routes to drive, so I thought we could do it. I was actually up here, except the other week. So for those of you who know Richard, aka Dadrail, me and him, well, he was on a course in Doncaster, and I thought, well, I get free travel passes to Doncaster, so we had 2 days of sort of running around the north together. And one of them we did, well, the second one we did model train shopping, and visited the iconic rails of Sheffield for my first time there. Oh my god, that shop is expensive when you're like me and you have no self-control. I ended up spending 100 quid in there. I'm glad I did actually. I bought a display case for my model trains. And my logic for that being, I'm really struggling with sort of justifying keeping my collection at the moment because I don't run them and I just have about £6,000 or £7,000 worth of trains in my front room. And one of the reasons I don't give away my location. Yeah. Off the power, and I brake at this GSMR mast. But basically, I'm sort of struggling to justify keeping them because if I'm not using them, why have I got them? So I am part of my justification now is I've got a display case so I can enjoy them by looking at them whenever I go in my front room. It needs to be bolted, like screwed to the wall. I've not done that yet. My god. I went. That is Dron Field Station, but we are rolling up a hill here. Oh, that clipped. I've noticed that one before. And strangely, another good friend of mine, well, an internet friend of mine, lives near this station, who I will not name. But I really do like this route. This is one of my favourite routes to drive in Trains and Classic. It's showing its age now, to be fair, but at the time it came out, it was pretty spot on. Pretty spot on. Yeah, this route will be about 10 years old now, right? Yeah, so an SDO4, we'll stop right at the end. The rear carriage of this service one, well, passengers for Dronfield should travel in the front 4 coaches of this train. And you get the auto answer. The doors in this carriage will not open at this station. Okay, and we'll do door release on the left. Oh, that's fun. I did 4, but my doors haven't opened. Have I gone over the end? I might have gone millimetrically over the end according to the game. But you can see we did SDO4. And you again, that coach's platform, so I think I've gone long. Oh well. But yes, that is the AP manual read-through done. I really enjoy. I do enjoy this train. I do enjoy this route. This train, like I say, I've not found as enjoyable as I would like. But that's more just owing to trains going to train, basically, amongst other things. going? Yes, we are. Okay, it's just not making sense today. Oh look, the dinger. Right. No, okay, fair enough. That is thrashing away. Not very noticeable thrash, but there is thrash there. The YouTube compression will make it disappear. Like, there is thrash there, but yeah, YouTube compression's great. Right, it's definitely YouTube compression, not my bit rate. Oh, I should use hill start there, well. I suppose that just shows that the level of instantaneous power you get, you don't really need the hill start. I suppose, probably if we were an engine or two down, you might. Any hoozles. Yes, so in theory we can go up to 90, but I'm going to stop accelerating at 70 because we need to pop out of this tunnel at 70. HST. That is door west, so basically you go that way towards Manchester. I may do that in a HST at some point. Problem is the snow starts in Leicester. Actually go up there, Wash, so yeah, that could be a good little run. But I feel like I'm driving loads of HSTs at the moment, so I'd be quite happy to do something a bit different for a change. And that is, oh God, I can't remember station names. I'm really bad. Door and Totley. Yes, I was just talking about door. So, fun fact, as you see we come around the curve there, there's this big blocky thing. First time I think I'd seen this modelled in trains, and I've seen a few of them in real life now. But basically what that is designed for is, imagine for a second that's not there. I'm coming around this curve, and what I sight is a red signal. Because that is blocking the red signal, which is the platform start signal, going south out of Door and Totley. I think that'll be been removed now with the new platform being in place, but that is basically just there to stop me seeing that and panicking through the emergency braking. There you go. The more you know. 90. Power. And this is the last time pretty much we'll be using the should be using the power controller, so 90. Drag a bit of brake on. Tiny amount of brake application. Double amber, single amber next. Basically, the red is the signal protecting Leeds Station, Sheffield Station. $15 Morpeth board, that's fine. We're slowing to 40 now because we've gone past the 50. Now, in this area, this is where Rails of Sheffield is. It is basically, I believe, obviously this is not a perfect representation. I believe it is actually this shop here. For the license and the Taj Mahal. It's either that one or this row of shops here. Actually, upon reflection, it's this row of shops here. This is Rails in real life. So yeah, because this is about right from what I remember. Yep. And we parked about here. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I was put on the side. I was a bit thingied with my. A bit overexcited by my display case, which I need to fill the rest of it up to be fair. Green with a feather. HST 40. 40. And what I'm going to do is just basically drag the brake in. Down to 15. So one of my friends, I obviously have two screens, and on the other screen I had up Facebook, and one of my friends posted some photos. And I'm not saying I'm the CIA, but I've geolocated within about 30 seconds where she is. Or the FBI, not CIA. Of course, Sheffield Supertram on the upper right. So what is my overall verdict on this pack? $14.99? Yeah, I think it's worth $14.99. Obviously, it's going to be worth that a bit more. So I know it's a weird way to put it, but it is going to be worth more when the Corby extension's out. Obviously, this route, like I say, I enjoyed driving it, but it is starting to show its age. Back when it released, absolutely one of my top routes for training some classic. Now it's just I think it's something that could be very, very easily updated. This route, there's no like game breaking issues in it, but there's just a couple of little things I'd love to improve about this route. But other than that, I enjoy it. I'm excited for the Corby extension to come. Hopefully you'll have seen this before the Corby extension releases, because scheduling on YouTube is a great thing. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you did. Subscribe to see more from me on a very regular... I didn't put emergency brake in, oh well. I guess I did. Oh my word. T-U. There you go, doors released, perfect. And what we'll do is we'll just set the tail lights. I'm not going to prove the remote lights work, but thank you for watching. See you next time. Tatty bye.